Just wanted to show you the bathroom items that I have and how I'd like to incorporate them into my antique lines dollhouse. And yeah, I think I came up with the idea that will save the day. Just to show you these little pieces. So the sink and the bathtub are both vintage doll toy made in England. And they can see the little doll toy label on them. They're just beautiful. Unfortunately, I don't have a matching toilet, but I do have this little Strombecker toilet. So that was made in the United States, and although it's slightly different color, I'm not going to change it because all of these items are vintage and they're just absolutely lovely. And I'd like to incorporate them in my dollhouse. So I went to the pottery studio where they also have a woodworking studio. A lovely artist, his name is Chris, helped me with the table saw. So I cut this so that the inside of the little box that I'm going to create will be 5 inches square. And you can see here, I took a jigsaw and I cut a door out, and then it's going to have a floor and a ceiling. And I'm going to be putting this into this dollhouse. So this dollhouse only has 4 rooms. And you don't want to use one of those big gigantic rooms simply just to put these 3 bathroom pieces in. So that's why I built this little extension room. So once it's done, it'll be able to slide into one of the upstairs bathrooms, and I'll be able to create a bathroom without actually losing a room. So I've been intent on painting the inside of it in blue. And then these are the tiles that I'm going to be using for the floor. So these are actual real tiles, and they're so tiny. There's 12 pieces to a square inch, so they're really, really, really small. So I'm going to first of all take some tacky glue and I'm going to glue them down to the floor. I'm not going to glue the walls on until I'm completely finished because I don't want to end up with grout all over the place, and it just seems easier just to glue them down and grout them before I actually attach the room to it. So you can see I'm just fitting it in, and there you go. It's a perfect fit. So I just love these tiles. They're so clever and beautiful. It's not easy to find tiles that are miniature size, so I feel very fortunate. My friend Dave gave them to me quite some time ago, and I've been hoarding them forever, looking for a very special project to use. So I've got a little bit of grout here, and I'm just going to be adding water slowly to it and making it the consistency of not quite as thick as toothpaste, but almost like toothpaste. So as soon as I get this all mixed, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grout it. Now I wished I had some white grout, but unfortunately I've only got this gray, and I also had a brown and a beige downstairs. So you use what you got. So there is actually gray in these tiles, so I think it will look pretty good when it's done. So you can see here it's now thickening up, and I'm just going to apply it with the spoon. So normally if you were doing grout like in a full-size situation, you would be using a rubber trowel, but yeah, this piece is way too small to be commanding that huge tool that I have in the basement. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to spread it with this spoon, which I'm sure will work just fine. So I'm just making sure that the grout is pushed in between every single one of these little tiles, and then I'll wipe it up a little bit. Then I'll let it set for an hour before I polish it, and you'll see what I mean. So, I mean, the key to doing this is to make sure that every single gap between the tiles is completely covered with the grout, and yeah, I'm pretty sure this will turn out just fine. Um, because this room is so small, I have some handcrafted little floor mats that you would use, just outside of the bathtub. But this floor is so beautiful. I do not want to cover it. I want to keep it as is. So you can see here I've got a slightly damp sponge, and I'm just spreading it to make sure that it's covering in between each and every single tile. So, and it's looking pretty good. So, proof's in the pudding after it's dry to make sure that there isn't any grout missing. So, I'm just gonna kind of push it around and make sure that it's in everywhere. You can see up at the top there, I'm gonna have to make sure that that's covered. Yeah, it's a little tedious, but if you take your time, it will work. I tiled the backsplash in my real life kitchen and in my kitchen downstairs, and I've also tiled the bathroom downstairs. And, putting the tiles on is really fun to do. This part is the least fun part, the grouting. It's just messy and it's kind of a bit of a pain in the butt. But it is really super satisfying after you've let it dry for an hour or so to see how the finished product looks, because it just brings it to life. So, not my favorite job in the world, but I love these tiles so much. I'm so excited just to have them. So, white grout would have looked so much better, but grout's expensive. And if I only need 3 tablespoons of it, it seems an excessive amount to spend just to have some white grout. So that's what it looks like. We left it sit for about an hour, and you can see it's looking a little bit different. And so now I've got a slightly damp paper towel, and I'm just going to polish it off. So, and you can see the grout will stay now only in the cracks, just the way it would in a real life bathroom floor. So I am so happy with this. Like, you have no idea how excited I was to use these tiles. As I say, my friend Dave gave them to me quite some time ago. It's got to be at least 2 years. And I've been hoarding them. So I just knew just the right project would come along where I would know it would be perfect for it. And I've actually only used a quarter of my supplies, so I do have a little bit left over that I could use once again. So there's what my floor looks like, nicely grouted and fitting my room on top of it. There you go. That's what it looks like. So now what I've done is I've taken some cream colored paint and I've gone all the way around the sides just to make sure it's nice and neat. And this will be my ceiling panel. Look how much paint I have on my hands. So I'm just painting the ceiling, and I'm going to be painting the ceiling on both sides and actually also around the edge. And that way when I'm going to illuminate this room, I'm going to put a little light in it. And having the white ceiling is good because it reflects the light nicely, and it will make this little bathroom a lot brighter. So this wood is pretty dark colored, so it's going to take 2 full coats. So I've got that painted and left to the side to dry. And now I've got some tacky glue and yes, my handy finger tool here. And I'm just putting glue all the way around the perimeter of my floor so that I can actually glue the actual walls up. So, but you can see how messy that was to do the grout, why I didn't glue it together first. I did it afterwards. So, so I'm just slathering a good amount of glue on there. And then as soon as I've got enough glue, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to insert the actual room box or the walls on top. So I'm really, really super happy with the way this is turning out. So it actually ends up at the end turning out much better than my original expectations. So I'm now going ahead and I'm painting the second coat on the ceiling or the lid of this little box. So because the room box itself is only, the interior is 5 inches by 5 inches, I'm not going to permanently attach this. So you can see I've put a little battery operated light through it. The little circular thing on the ceiling is actually something that I made in ceramics. So it's porcelain. It's porcelain bisque. That's the back of an earring. And you can look up previous videos that I've done on how to actually wire these. It's pretty simple. It's just a straightforward LED light. And then on the top of it, I put a little button so that it will hold the wires in place. So you can see what it looks like here with the blue walls, my beautiful floor that I'm so happy with. And then I'm just showing you what it looks like with the top on, and then when you illuminate it, look how nice that looks. It's just beautiful. I'm like so pleased with this. And you can see it's like a little chandelier light. That's actually like a piece of East Indian jewelry, so it's like a kind of like a Bollywood style jewelry. And it's quite nice because it really does kind of look like a chandelier. And I couldn't be more tickled with the way this looks. And I also painted the inside of the door frame in that antique white that everything else in my antique dollhouse is made with, so everything will all match. And you can see I wallpapered the exterior of this little room box. And so I've left the door a little bit wider than what the other doors in the house is. And the reason why is because I want to have a good view into the bathroom so it's easy to see like the little sink and the toilet, etc. So I've got these little felt pads that you use on the bottom of chairs and tables so that you don't damage your floors. And I'm actually going to put 4 of them on the bottom. And now I've decorated the inside. Do you see the towel rack? That's made with wire and earring fixtures. And a little box of Kleenex on the back of the toilet, some soap, a little cup with some handmade toothbrushes that were actually made out of toothpicks. That's a little porcelain mirror that I made in ceramics, and just put a little mirror in it. And you can see I've got a little rubber ducky in the background and some little towels. The towels are actually made out of those baby washcloths that you buy at the dollar store, and I just cut them up and put a little bit of trim on them. A little bar of soap in a soap dish that was made out of polymer clay. And then I put the little roof on. See how the chandelier looks up close? The reason I chose to do all the accessories in green is because the actual lamp on the ceiling or ceiling light is actually green. So that kind of brings everything together with the blue. So, and I've got the light on, and this is how it looks like when it's illuminated. Because it's perfectly square, the lid fits on anyway. So I'm just kind of turning it around so that it's more balanced. And you can see when you peek inside. Do you see what I mean about not putting a little floor mat in front of the bathtub? I did that on purpose because I think the bathtub is just so perfect. I was going to show you, I've got a little scrubby pad inside of the bathtub, but my big clumsy hands can't make it all the way in there to grab it. So this is what it looks like. This is the finished product. If you want to learn how to do those towel racks, go to Little Gretchen's workshop, made with earring backs and wire. So easy to do. I got that idea from you, Gretchen, and I love it. So this is what it looks like. See, you don't have to use an entire room to be able to put an addition. And the nice thing about this is it is on little pads, so I can actually slide it into either side of the room. I think the most important aspect of doing a bathroom this way is it doesn't do anything to alter the authenticity of my antique dollhouse. So it's completely removable, and I think it's a great idea because I had that lovely bathroom furniture and I just didn't want to see it go to waste. And it's really nice when you've got a 4-room dollhouse, it's really nice to be able to make space for a bathroom. I intend to use the main floor of my dollhouse for a sitting room and a kitchen, and the upstairs I intend to do a nursery and then an adult bedroom. So it's nice to be able to have this addition of having this flexible, shall we say, bathroom that can be moved to either side of the room. I think it turned out really way better than my expectations. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. It's free to do so and it really does help my channel grow. Also, if you could hit that like button, hit the notification bell, and then that way you'll know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching today. And as always, have the best day ever.